Okay, these are going to be professional use cases of the Samsung Galaxy Tab 9 Ultra, and I am recording myself actually using the device because a lot of times people do reviews of these products, but they don't actually use them for day-to-day activities. So that's what I'm going to do. I have this keyboard at my desk. This is how I would use it at my desk, but I also have the book cover, and we'll talk about that as well. So the first thing I do not like about the Tab 9 Ultra is the fingerprint sensor seems to not work as well as I hoped. So anytime I put it on there, it pretty much doesn't work every time. I don't know what I did wrong. The face rec- recognition works. So if I hold up the facial recognition, that works. But of course, I need to take off my headset to do that. So I'm not going to do that. But the fingerprint reader doesn't work for me. So I have to add my fingerprint. Maybe it's racist. I don't know. But what I mean by that is sometimes these sensors are not created to work with all skin tones for some reason. So as you can see, it just now it worked, but I'm not sure if that was the facial recognition. Yep, it was. Even with the headset, that works. So some other reviewers were saying with the headset or the Face ID or the Biometrics doesn't work as well as the fingerprints, but for me, the fingerprints don't work as well. But everything else is so far so good. Bottom line, this is an amazing tablet. If I only had one device and it was Android and I didn't need any desktop applications or executable files for programming or business, this would be a great device if I don't want to have an iPad. The downside to the iPad is the lack of customizability as far as what you want to do with it. So, for example, we homeschool our kids, and there's an app I use to monitor their screen. Well, on iOS, that app doesn't work as well. It just does not work. Whereas on Android, it works flawlessly. On Windows, it works flawlessly. And the one thing, I have iPhones, or I've had iPhones, I've had the iPad Pro, I've had the MacBook Pro. The number one problem I have with Apple devices is the best software they make will be a third party software for something you want to do, let's say for security, right? Then that piece of software will not be available for Windows or Android. So basically, you have to use all Apple devices if you want to use that product. And then a lot of times it doesn't have the same functionality as an equivalent Android or Windows program. So, for example, I use something to monitor the kids to make sure they're doing their work, and it takes screenshots of everything they do every 5 seconds. Got teenager 9-year-old babies, so we want to make sure they're doing their work right. But on iOS, it can't monitor it the same way because there's these security loopholes that it just makes it impossible to work the same way, where it can't block certain websites. No matter how many times I go into the settings to fix it, I've been working with computers for 25 years and it just will not work properly. But on Android and Windows, I don't even have to change any settings. It just works. Now, a lot of people say Apple's just supposed to just work, but this isn't a rant about Apple. It's just the fact that I needed another option for tablets. That's the point I'm trying to make because the iPad Pro just wasn't working. It worked in every other way. Battery life was good. My daughter loves to draw. That work well, but the actual usage of some of the apps, the security features they have, the loopholes they make you jump through, it just wasn't worth it anymore, especially when you need to get work done. As far as the pen on the Galaxy Tab 9 is just as good as the iPad. So I love it so far. I love using it. I would say the iPad's pencil feels a little bit better in the hand, meaning, but they're about the pencil is a little bit heavier. This is lighter and a little bit smaller. Same latency. My daughter loves to draw. I'm a recovering artist myself and don't have any issues with the pen. And then with that comes other features that Samsung has as far as the pen features where you could pause and play media. You can easily take screen grabs. It's not as easy on the iPad. It's easy on the Surface Pro 9 though. So but I like that this has a feature. For example, when I'm talking to my web developers and I want to show them something that's not working properly on the screen. For example, we had an issue with an app we're building and there was an error and all the code was showing on the page like this, and I wanted to show them that there was a problem. All I have to do is go here and select a portion of the screen, and it does that, and then I can write on that part of the screen, and I can instantly send it in an email. And then it also makes a noise. All I have to do is copy and paste this into an email, and it instantly gets sent. So for example, in Upwork, I could just go here and hit and paste that screenshot we just made. Obviously, I would have had to have copied it, which I didn't. But the point is, it's easy to take screenshots. I like that. The other issue I have with this, I don't know what's going on with Google right now, but Google is always fighting Microsoft and they're always fighting Samsung. That's one of the main benefits of going with Apple. Because, for example, if I try to go to Gmail on this device and I log into my Gmail account, I had to actually use the Chrome browser. So I'm in the Chrome browser right now. Because in Edge, which is my default browser, if I try to go to Gmail and log in without using the app, because the app is fine, but sometimes I want to log into my Gmail account here. If I put in my Gmail address and then I hit next, it says that this browser or app may not be secure. Learn more. And then when you go to check with Google, you go to check with Microsoft or whoever, this is a known issue that Google needs to fix. I don't know why it's not fixed. But I'm still able to check my email. I just use Chrome for that, or I just use the Gmail app and it's fine. It opens up in Edge, but that's an extra step. The other thing I got working on here that I like is Chat GPT. That's another reason for having an Android tablet or an iOS device now is you can have AI on the go and it's easy to access it. So I have Chat GPT now on here and it works pretty well. So I've tested it and it works seamlessly and then it syncs with anything you put in your history, gets synced to the browser version. So I use it a lot for marketing and building my team, and it's pretty fast. So that's more about the Chat GPT app in general, but just know that if you want to use the Chat GPT app on an Android device, is pretty fast. You get It's very responsive, and the new Android top of the line ARM chip is really fast. I don't have any problems with anything lagging. I believe this is the 12 gig of RAM version. Nothing lags on here. It's all seamless. The other thing I do to get access to Windows is I use Splashtop. It's an app that allows you to get access to Windows. You could use remote desktop, but I use um, Splashtop, meaning remote desktop with Chrome, but I don't want to use Chrome. I want to use Microsoft Edge because I use Edge on my PC. So I could just access my Windows desktop just like this. And right while I'm actually recording this video and I'm streaming it to my computer, I can access my computer on my tablet. So now you could see what I see on my computer, and I can actually, minimize this. I could do other things on my computer, and it's pretty accurate. There's low latency when you want to use this, even if you're 1,000 miles away. I just leave my computer on at home. Another way to do it is just to put your computer to sleep and have it wake on LAN, meaning when something accesses the internet on your computer, it will wake up. So that way I have access to Windows and all my Windows files. You could do the same thing for a Mac, but use the tablet functionality because it's lighter. It's lighter to use this tablet. I know this is like an Inception at this point, so let me minimize this. But then I could do everything I need to do on my computer just by accessing it from here. So now I'm on my desktop. So I can make changes to my desktop. I can install software. If I was doing software development, I could do that from my Android device and run it on my desktop from 1,000 miles away. So that works really well. The screen looks great. Now, what I would say is the 14:9 version worth it? Not if you have a another device um, that is bigger. But as far as the screen size, it is a great screen quality. And if you were watching Netflix, it would be great. I mean, watching YouTube videos is great. I can, do whatever I want on here. Netflix, everything plays in high quality. The screen is great. The speakers are great. So I can't really fault that. The main issues I have right now is the fingerprint reader. Maybe I need to redo that. Other than the fingerprint reader, the Gmail, not being able to access Gmail through Microsoft Edge. You can access it through Chrome and through the Gmail app, but right now, I haven't found a way to access it through Microsoft Edge. Other than that, though, everything works flawlessly. It's fast, it's sufficient. The battery life lasts all day. So if you're looking for all day battery life, this is it. I use Microsoft Teams for work. That works perfectly. Every other Android app works perfectly. I talked about Splashtop, which is an app that allows you to access your Windows or Mac OS computer from your phone or Android device or an iOS device. So I'm able to access my Windows device from this computer. So right now you could see the inception of me recording the screen within the screen. So let me minimize that again. or I could just go back to Android and leave this window open. So anytime I need to access something on my Windows machine, I can do that. I would just have to double click at the bottom here. You could even use your keyboard. There's so many different options. Um, the other thing I enjoy is all the Office apps work properly on here. I know that can be an issue sometimes with iPads. Um, Office 365 works very well. The weight of the device, to me, this would be the main reason to get the smaller version instead of the ultra version, because you can hold it in one hand, especially in portrait mode like this, but it is large. So this would basically be a glorified laptop, just like the Surface Pro and Surface Pro 10, Surface Pro 9, whenever the Surface Pro 10 comes out. So if you really just want a portable laptop and you need access to Windows on the go, you need access to actual Windows programs, then to me, the Surface Pro 9 would be better if you need access to real desktop apps. If you don't, which when people are on the go, most of the time they don't need access to that unless they work from a office like I do. I just access my computer through Splashtop. But then I ran into one other problem. The other problem is recording videos. What if I want to record videos at the office? So now I can record videos on my phone and on my camera, but then what if I need to edit them? So that is part of the issue, that some of the streaming software does not work on Android. You could use the browser. So, for example, I use Riverside. Uh, it's a new streaming software that I use for coaching clients. So I could log into Riverside in the browser. So let's see how that works. So if I log in right here, the app version of the program does not allow you to share your desktop. That was the problem I had with it. Where the Android app version didn't allow you to share your desktop. So we'll see if the browser version allows you to share your desktop. It's not even letting me log in right now. But other than that, again, the battery life lasts all day. The screen is top notch. Um, Everything works really well. I was trying to see if I could get my Cam Link 4K to work with this so that way I could just use Android, but usually those streaming conversion tools don't work with Android and they don't work with iOS. You have to have Mac OS or you have to have Windows 10, Windows 11 to get that to work. I mean, that would be great if it could work, but it just doesn't work. So, and then also with Windows, it works best if you have a dedicated graphics card. If you look at the system requirements for a 4K, they say Mac OS and um, Windows 10 or higher right here. So you have to have one of those to get the Camlink 4K to work. And then you have to have a USB 3.1 plus port. And for the most part on Windows, you need an NVIDIA graphics card or AMD. And Camlink does not work on Windows 7 or Windows 8. And as far as I've tested, it did work on my MacBook Pro. So the whole point is there needs to be a mobile Android and iOS version for streamers so that we can use these types of portable devices and not worry about having to take a full-fledged computer with us, because that's one of the bigger issues that people have, is having to take a full-size device. Now, another thing you could do, I just recorded a 4K video while doing this. I'm doing another Inception on the S22 Ultra, and now I'm going to send that file as 3.65 gigabytes. So I'm tapping on the Flows tab S button. It's just like AirDrop. So you just click on it, it's connecting, and it's at 2% right now. It's sending it. This is a pretty large file. It's 3.65 gigabytes, and it looks like it's doing 1% per second. So it should take no more than a minute to transfer this file over. There we go. And it's still running in the background. I need to change those settings. So that file is being shared. And let's see if Riverside works. Okay, so here's Riverside. See if I can log in here without sharing my screen. Give me a second. Don't want anybody to see my password. And we'll see if that actually works. I know, obviously, Zoom will work on Android and iPad, but one of the things I wanted to show off is if I can share my desktop using this tool, then at least I could use it like Zoom. Um, but Riverside has some more advanced AI features than Zoom, and it's not working as quickly as I thought it would. So this is one of the main reasons you would use a desktop, is if you are doing anything other than Zoom streaming, for example, maybe even video editing, obviously, then you would use a full desktop OS like Mac OS or Windows 11. But other than that, everything else works. So so that file is downloaded. Now I can click open. So this is the actual file here, and it's recording what we were just doing. It was like my second shot. So what if I wanted to edit this? You can edit this right on here. I could cut out parts. Let's see how well that works. It's pretty smooth. It works flawlessly. Use my finger. Yep. And then obviously you could export this, but you would need something like a video editing software to do that. There are a couple that come on the tablet. So for example, the one we were just using is built into the Photos app. So this is an 18-minute 4K clip. I can save it. I can edit it. And this is just the basic video editing feature. And I can mess around with it here. I'm not going to do anything crazy to it, but if I wanted to, I could. And this is built into the Samsung app. And then it's called Video Editor. This is version 5.2.5. Obviously, I wouldn't do major video editing with this software, but I could save this file. And it's going to take a little bit to save because this is a 3.65 gigabyte file. Let's see how long that takes. So it looks like it's going to take about a minute to save it. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind when using a tablet. Uh, I'm pretty sure iPad would be faster for this feature. So if you're crunching video files a lot and you want to use a tablet, maybe you get an iPad Pro. But overall, for everything I want to do, this Android tablet seems to be better because of the different pieces of software that iPad just makes it a challenge to use unless it's specifically built for iPad, which is fine. I mean, if you want to use everything that's just built for iPad, that's fine. But for example, if you're familiar with the tool on Windows and Android, and then you want to use it on iPad, sometimes the functionality won't be there or the app just isn't available on iPad. So then that's the main issue you would run into with that. But other than that, the responsiveness, and I'm in Dex mode. I am in Dex mode. I'm not in regular Windows. I mean, not Windows. I'm not in regular uh, Android for this, what they call it. I forgot what Samsung calls it, One UI. I'm in the Dex mode of the tablet. So I can click to edit Dex mode right now. So then it restarts. And now I'm not in Dex mode anymore. Now I'm in regular stock One UI, right? So here we go. I have no idea what I'm doing now because now it looks like a tablet. So this is confusing for me, right? That's why I like Dex mode because it makes it more like a desktop. So let me show you the Galaxy Picks because it has a few different things. I know a lot of people on Apple like GoodNotes. GoodNotes is available now, so that works. Um, we have to wait for it to open, but that's GoodNotes. And then it's making me do something weird. Welcome to GoodNotes. I need to do something. Oh, I need to sign in. And I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to exit out of this. Let's see, which one should I sign in with? And of course, it's going to make me sign in. I'm not signing in right now, but this is how it looks on One UI. So we were just looking at Dex mode for the first 20 minutes. Now we are in the regular UI. This is how it looks. All the Samsung apps, of course, the Play Store, Samsung Notes, and the gallery. I believe my video should be in that gallery. Let's see. Yep. So my video we just created is in that gallery. And what I wanted to show you is other than the photo gallery where you could do some basic edits, under Galaxy Picks, there is LumaFusion, which is a video editing software. And it right now on this device, I can buy it for $14.99. I believe the regular price is $30. But that does a lot of the edits you would do on something like Premiere and Final Cut and DaVinci Resolve. It can do a lot of those things on the go. But even with that, so then I would be able to edit videos, right? Then I should be fine. But nope, can't stream, can't use my Cam Link 4. And I do a lot of streaming for these videos. So for example, what that means is right now I'm streaming to XSplit so that when I finish recording this video, I don't have to do any editing. So that's my hack for that. It's a huge time saver because I'm running 3 different businesses, 4 kids, married, driving in traffic. I don't have time to be editing a bunch of videos, right? But unfortunately, I have to. If I want to record videos, then I would have to import them to this computer like I did with the phone video right here. This is a 4K file. and then I would have to edit that, then upload it. Obviously, I don't have to edit a lot. I could just use my phone, but I have a mirrorless Sony camera. So my hack was streaming directly into the computer like I'm doing on my desktop right now, so that as soon as I hit stop, the recording is finished. And then I can upload that and go on to my next task. So the issue is that I cannot do that. So that would significantly increase my time because right now I have this 4K video right here. Now I would have to use my phone, which isn't the same quality. I could obviously record on my phone and then just share it with my tablet and then upload it. But that adds 2 extra steps, and the video quality doesn't look as sharp. So even though the phones are good for some things, maybe I could do that for B-roll. They just don't look as sharp. So for that very purpose, and because I do that often, and then number two, Riverside doesn't seem to be working, I'm a tablet could be a secondary device for me, but it can't be my main device, unfortunately. Now, if I was traveling, this would be perfect. So if I'm traveling and I'm not going to be recording videos, or I could just save all the videos I record on an SD card, and then when I get back, that would be a great option. But I'm recording videos every day for clients, so that wouldn't work. What this would be a great device for is when I'm showing clients, because I do business consulting and I share my screen, recording my screen and keeping this pen right here in the book cover is good. It's a great way to store the pen. So as you can see, it's not going to fall off like it could on the iPad Pro. The Surface Pro keeps that on the keyboard portion. So in my opinion, that's a better option because then there's this bump right here. So then this device can't lay flat, but then at the same time, maybe having it as a at an angle is not a bad thing. But overall, this bump here is just not cute. But it doesn't stop anything from happening. And then let's go over the three biggest issues I have with this device. Number one, the book cover kickstand is just not that sturdy. I mean, it's sturdy enough. It's definitely sturdy enough, but you can't, if you're an artist like myself and my daughter, if you want to put a lot of pressure on it, you're not going to be able to, like the Surface Pro kickstand. Number two, the fingerprint and facial recognition are not as good as the iPads. They're good enough. I mean, it's finicky sometimes. I probably need to do another test. Another point is it might be racist. What I mean by racist is that sometimes these algorithms they use to create the security login and logouts, they test more with people with less melanin. So then the biometrics isn't as good. So for example, when I go to my office and I try and use the the sink in the bathroom that turns on the water, the sensors don't work as well for me. It happens sometimes, and there's nothing I could do about it. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe somebody else could test it with less melanin and let me know. But other than that, the other issue, the battery life is great. It lasts all day. You're gonna get 8 to 12 hours, depending on what you're doing. The pen on whiteboard, if that's a tool you want to use, whiteboard works really well. So it's showing all these things that pop up here. But whiteboard works really well. So that's a great tool. I've tested it already and I've gotten everything to work perfectly. I already did all this. I guess this is the first time I'm opening whiteboard. No pen lag or latency at all. You're going to get great drawing ability if you're an artist. If you're not an artist, you could pretend to be one. But overall, the pen works really well. It's just as good as the iPad Pro, and I don't have any problems with it. Um, if I had to choose one, honestly, it would be this pen. This pen seems to work just the way it. I don't have to charge it. I just put it on the tablet, and it does all the charging for me, at least awkwardly. So it does need to be charged, but some of the pens don't. And the part that needs to be charged for is not the writing, it's for the Bluetooth, like when you press the button on it to open up a selection, which is kind of awkward as well. So I can't even find the button right now. Where's the button? Okay, here's the button. See, I'm left-handed, so the button, if you put it in your right hand, it rests on your index finger. So for me, you have to make sure I would make sure I hold the pen this way, but I won't because I'm left-handed. So I would hold it this way, and then now I can't press the button. Maybe it's just the way I hold the buttons. I don't know. But as far as writing and drawing ability, it is really flawless as far as I'm concerned compared to how some of these pens used to draw. Um, this is right up there with the iPad Pro, better in some ways because I could use this on multiple devices. I wonder if it works on my Ultra. Let's see. Doesn't work on the Ultra S22. So let's try the pen from the Ultra S22 and see if that works on the tablet Ultra. Okay, so now we're going to try the pen on the S22 and see if it works on here. Yep, see? So, and this works just as well. Now, the pen came with it, but this is a good backup pen now. And it's smaller, so I don't have to actually bring my pen. The latency is exactly the same. No issues with latency. So the pen for your Ultra phone will work on the tablet. Let's see if the button works. Obviously, the button's connected to the phone. So yeah, it's not going to do anything. So on my phone right now, I could write on the screen. On here, that's not good. So I could write on the screen on there, and then I could write here. Latency is exactly the same. Let's see. Yep, maybe because the tip is so sharp, it's not as easy to write with and it's smaller, but latency is exactly the same. So if you have an S22 or S23 or S24 Ultra, this will be good because then you could use your pen on your phone and on your tablet, and you don't need to actually buy the pen. If you lose it, you could use the one on your phone. Other than that, love the device. I'll test out different things. Battery life is great. Dex mode is what I would stick to for me, for a professional or a creator. Maybe if you're a creator, you might just use something like LumaFusion and not worry about Dex mode. But I'm doing a lot of different things at the same time, so I need to use Dex mode. To get into Dex mode, the easiest way is you could type in Dex in the search, or you can go here and just type Dex, or you can go to the settings, I believe. Actually, you have to go to the settings. And then I go down here and there's Dex mode right there. Or when you connect the book cover to it, it can take you directly to guest Dex mode. I'm using this keyboard. This is what I would primarily be using if I wasn't traveling, just because it's a better keyboard. The trackpad on this is not the best, meaning that the mouse cursor lags a little bit. It's still not built for to be a desktop replacement, but it's good enough. It gets you get used to it. The keys are great on this. It just has just enough travel. I would say the Surface Pro 9 keyboard is better, and the Surface Pro 9 trackpad is way better. So is the Magic keyboard. I mean, and both of those, this keyboard is the same price as the Magic keyboard with the kickstand. So about $350 or $300 if you have the smaller version. So would I recommend this keyboard? Yeah, because it protects the device. Maybe you could get the cheaper one and then just get a portable keyboard like this if you're a writer. So for example, if you're a writer, this is a great coffee shop device, Starbucks coffee shop, random coffee shop. You could be in there all day. Your battery would last all day, and I'm in. So it's the biometrics for the face works better for me than the actual fingerprint. Maybe I need to retest the fingerprint, but again, overall great device. The main reason you would get this device is if you wanted to get a Surface Pro 9, but you don't use desktop apps and you need long battery life. This battery life will last all day. So I would highly recommend it for that purpose. And then, obviously you have Android on here. If that's your thing, you can link to Windows so that you can access this from your Windows device, just like an Android phone you can access now on any Windows device. You can access all the apps on your Windows device, similar to how Mac does it, but instead of it's almost like running inside of a little virtual machine on your Windows device, and you could do picture in picture and all that good stuff. So that is what I would recommend. This has all the features your phone has too. You even have the power saving mode. You could change the settings to make it even last 24 hours if you want to. So that is that. I'm going to turn off power saving mode. The single core performance was over 2000 on Geekbench. So you're going to get instant opening and closing of applications. I mean, the animations maybe not as nice as an iPad, but what you get on this device that you wouldn't get on an iPad is you get more customizability and you get to use it with Windows because you could connect this to your Windows device. And then if you buy a Samsung laptop, you can use it as a second screen and control it just like you can do with the iPad. So hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.